if you had to describe season 9 in 3 words?
Wow, without thinking like this, I would say first thing, exciting.
A roller coaster.
Below expectations.
Always fun.
Frustrating.
Disappointing.
Exciting.
Challenging.
Building.
A lot of potential.
Inspiring.
Motivational.
Trust.
Why should somebody watching this decide, you know what, I'm a Mahindra Racing fan?
We are the unexpected one right now. New design, new technology, new range of cars, and at the same time, a very strong sporting aspect, supporting the performance, supporting the growth of the brand. We are just there. That's what makes our story so special, is that we have that conjunction of elements where we can become the tool of a brand to grow worldwide. You start small, you have a lot of challenges in front of you, but we have that willingness to do it. We have the capabilities of doing it. You will see us failing, you will see us succeeding, you will see us struggling, you will see us being super happy. If people like difficult journey, fighting spirit, hope, people fighting for getting what they want and what they have dreamed of all their life. That's probably Mahindra Racing the best place to be. My name is Fred Bertrand. I recently joined Mahindra Racing as CEO and team principal. I don't like being in a routine. I wanted to write a new chapter because I was on the other side for many years at the FIA. I had a unique opportunity of joining the dream and the fight for the victory now on the team side.
Fred's brought in a lot of enthusiasm to the role, I'd have to say, and I think what I like about Fred is that he's a very fair, reasonable guy, very easy to talk to and communicate with.
He brings great energy to start with, but it's a journey. He had to get to know the team, we had to get to know how to work with a new CEO and team principal.
When Fred came in, he was, let's say, thrown into the deep end a little bit.
Joining a little bit late during the, let's say, first season of a new car, for sure is probably the most difficult part of the challenge, I would say. Difficulties with the car, difficulties with reliability, difficulties with people sometimes, with drivers sometimes. So it's a lot, but I would say it was probably the best way of getting straight into the bath and then learning how to swim very quickly. I thought I knew how to swim, I learned new techniques. Looking back to Mexico, I never know if it was a dream or a nightmare.
But it doesn't matter. Lucas Di Grassi across the line, and in his first race for Mahindra, takes pole position in Mexico City.
Starting from pole position on the first race of the new era of a new car, in a new position, that type of adrenaline is unique.
Pole for Mahindra.
I mean, it was just a bit of a dream, wasn't it? Get to the first race, stuck it on pole, and it was like, wow. It was mega. Highlight of the year, undoubtedly.
It did give us some hope at that point that we could be competitive in this season.
Di Grassi's on pole, all 5 lights are on, and we go green in Mexico City. It's a decent getaway from Di Grassi, it's a very good start.
We started first, but we ended up third.
Third is going to be Di Grassi.
And that's not necessarily what we would like to get used to. We would love to start more often from first, but keep first. But nevertheless, great job from Lucas, great job from the team that day.
Everybody was elated in the garage.
Managed to bring it home in third. It's like a bit of a dream start to the year.
Can you remember much of the celebrations as well? Like, it must have been one epic night after that.
I mean, no, I can't remember this, if I'm honest. I think we had a few beers to celebrate.
It created a lot of expectation from everywhere. Everybody has said that day, okay, these guys, we need to make sure that we beat them, and that's where we have to be careful for the future.
Going into India, because we are an Indian team, there was a lot of attention on us, and Indian fans are always very dedicated to their team. They support them big time. Yes, Mr. Mahindra was there as well, visiting the garage. So yeah, a bit of pressure as well.
What were your memories of that week in Hyderabad?
Frustration. Frustration for two reasons. The first one is that we had a good car there. The drivers were feeling comfortable with, and probably a good track for us. We could have had a podium probably and something much better.
At one point we were doing very, very well in the race and then received a penalty from the FIA, which as did a number of cars, but we did manage to push Ollie Rowland forward and score good points there.
I mean, it was stunning. It was also a bit different to the rest of the calendar. It was exceptionally high speed, a lot of accidents, a lot of unforeseen circumstances as well, because the technology was still immature and still unproven in some regards at that point. So we were again forced to take every session as it came, and the race for us was actually a good result.
That moment was really important for us because it was the moment where we realized that we have a lot of potential. We have a massive opportunity with having all India behind us in some way, but now we need to make sure that we deliver and we make them proud. Looking forward to go back there and then delete that frustration into a proper satisfaction. South Africa was probably, it was a difficult one.
Yeah, so it's one of the strangest feeling I've had in my time in motorsport.
As a mechanic, it's like we were probably one of the first people to realise that we had issues with the car.
But in Cape Town, we discovered a structural problem with our rear suspension.
It was a small detail. It was not something huge, but for that small detail, you have to take something which has a massive impact.
Some breaking news, some really disappointing news, in fact. Mahindra have withdrawn both theirs and the Abd Cupra cars from today's race.
There was nothing we could do there and then to improve the situation, so we had to withdraw. Obviously, that was a big disappointment for everyone in the team.
Taking the responsibility of saying stop because you want to protect people, even if it costs a lot. And that decision cost me a lot. It was tough for Mahindra to have to make this call. It was tough for me towards the guys, the team.
Learning about it just before qualifying was definitely heartbreaking and a little bit unheard of, let's say.
That's the first time I've ever had to withdraw cars from a race event.
It's a tough one. I think for all of us, it's probably not just the low point of the season, but no one's ever withdrawn from a race before.
It's very difficult to put into words what the mood was. Yeah, it was not the best feeling.
Personally, it's the moment where you are alone at the end and you have to make the call by yourself. You can get some advices, you can get some backing, but at one moment you have to say yes or no, or stop or go. And that moment you are feeling a little bit lonely, to be honest.
4 cars will not be running in today's Cape Town E-Prix.
That was definitely one of the low points in the season, but also something that really brought the team together.
It's galvanising is probably the best way to describe it. I think once you've been through an experience you've never had to do before, and you certainly didn't like, you don't ever want to do it again.
The team was really like, this is the problem, we've got a challenge in front of us, let's get to it, let's figure it out and come together as a team. The people that are in this team and have seen those things happen are going to be stronger for having seen those.
It was obviously a horrendous day for the team, and I really felt for the guys who put in a lot of effort to get there, but I think it was a real turning point in many, many ways. A bad day, but we've come out of it in a really positive way.
What you need from failing is to learn, and definitely we learned a lot. First of all, we learned what we have to make stronger on the car, but the second thing we learned is how we came to that moment, which process created the fact that we came to that extreme situation where you have to say, okay, we will not participate to a race. What was too weak? What was not strong enough in the past? Why we came to that level of failure? If we don't want this to happen again, this is what we need to make sure that we fulfill for the future. So it's a lesson we learn at a very painful cost.
So between Rome and London, we had to do a double chassis swap on the cars because of crash damage from Rome. A day and a half to effectively build 2 complete new cars. But everyone came together, got the job done.
We visited some nice places. US was good, that was a highlight.
The Portland race was amazing to watch. There was so much overtaking. I forget the exact number, but it was 200 and something overtakes in the race.
In Sao Paulo, when that rocked around, it was strong for us. Consistently, we're seeing that we've got good pace to liberate from the car. In reality, it didn't come off in terms of results because we had a DNF and Oliver had 1 lockup event, and that's the reality of these motorsport environments.
I would say the highlights are not necessarily moments that people have seen, but are moments where it was important for me. Moments where you have to make decisions on changing a driver, for example. That's a difficult one, but on the other side, it's a moment where you know why you are doing. Not everyone understands why you are doing, but you know your plan is midterm is needing this type of move, and you are building the future. Things are slowly coming into plan. We need to make sure that we come to the level of the top teams. And we are not there yet, and we need time for that. It cannot happen in one day. Sometimes what has disappeared is the faith that you can win, the faith that what you are doing is directly linked to the result you can bring. I like the fact that I met a lot of people here wanting to have impact.
With season 10, with the planned fast charge pit stops, that's going to bring another new element. And it's certainly an area that, if we get it right, could see us move further up the grid.
Season 10 is about simplicity, ensuring that our engineering understanding is validated, that we are a slick operation. The moment we arrive at the track, we know what we want to do and we execute it perfectly.
For us, I think season 10 is going to bring improvement for sure. It's about using the resources that are now being freed up to us by Mahindra Automotive, the additional time we're going to have in the simulators and various other assets and tools that we're going to have, making sure that's all in place and that we're just operating much more efficiently.
I don't sell dreams. What I try to sell is the reality behind what we want. Step 1 is see how I can restructure the company in a way which is more balanced between manufacturer and team. Find the right people to reinforce and strengthen the team. Then comes 11 and 12. New partners, new support, new technical solutions to make the car better than the one we have in 9 and 10. Then we can fight for titles and wins and going to podiums more regularly.
So there's a lot of development work we can do on the software side on the car, as well as operationally around the team, making sure that we have as few mistakes as possible. We're really excited to show what we can do and the improvements we can make.
So it's a little bit of patience. It will not be a nice, easy way, nice, easy journey. That's for sure not. So the dream is clear and the goal is clear, but the way to do it cannot be a dream. It has to be a reality.
3 words that I hope to describe season 10. Comeback.
Scored more points.
Improved.
Progress.
Little better than expectations.
Consistency, I'd say.
Winning.
More coming.
Great team spirit. More ambitious for 11. Signing Eduardo Mortara and Nick De Vries is definitely a very strong step. We first of all get the right people into the team, simply developing the plan to the letter, to the target we have for season 10, 11 and 12.